Welcome to Inside the Icebox here on the ESPN Houston YouTube channel, talking all things Houston Astros. Joe George, Jeremy Branham. You find us on all social media platforms at Joe George Radio, at Jeremy Branham. And today's episode is brought to you by Blue Star Tequila, the world's first and only night harvested tequila. Tequila at its natural, unfiltered best, made with 100% blue agave, and you can find it near you at bluestartequila.com. All right, we got a lot to get to on today's show. We're going to revisit a little bit the Kyle Tucker trade with the way that Cam Smith has been playing. We're going to talk about the loser fans in Sacramento, some stock questions about this team, and a very nerdy way The Athletic explained that the Astros are one of the 5 most likely teams to win the World Series this year. Let's start with Cam Smith. We saw what was happening in Sacramento, a minor league ballpark, never played there. But overall, it feels like he's turning the corner all of a sudden in a major way. I know you didn't want him up right away, but with what we've seen from Paredes this year, what we've seen from Cam Smith, obviously Wisniewski is hurt. Are you already ready to declare the Astros the winner of the Kyle Tucker trade?
I was ready to declare him the winner of the trade the moment it happened.
Yeah.
I love these types of moves. Yeah, I mean, Isaac Paredes, you didn't know what you were getting exactly because he didn't really have a good tenure with the Cubs, but he's been better than advertised. Like, it stinks with Wisniewski because Wisniewski was a capable starter in this rotation, especially like the Astros pitching development staff. And then Cam Smith's been outstanding. Like, Cam Smith currently, as we talk today, looks like the next Astro star. So, yeah, I'd rather have all 3 of those guys under club control. Wisniewski for a while, Cam for 6 years, could have been 7. And Isaac Paredes more than 1 season of Tucker. And that's not to, like, demean Tucker. I like Kyle Tucker a lot. I think Kyle Tucker's one of the best players in baseball. But no single player for 1 year is worth getting 3 guys that are going to help you for a long time.
Yeah, and obviously, I have a very mixed perspective on this, rooting for both these teams in this situation. So I think it does depend on the fan base and how you view it. But from, the strictly Astros perspective, you've lost nothing, essentially. I mean, your season has started off better than it has in a couple years. You're getting major production from Paredes. You're getting good production recently from Cam Smith. You're not missing Kyle Tucker. You're not missing him in the field. You're not really missing his bat just with the way the season's gone. I mean, hell, you're not really missing Yordan Alvarez's bat, kind of, in a way, because, you just keep winning without him. So, from the Astros' perspective, there's no doubt they've won this deal.
Yeah.
I think Paredes is to me, is the piece of this that, like you said, I didn't expect. Specifically the defense. I didn't think that he was as good in defense as he has been this year. But you have multiple years of control for him, and he is not a player that screams massive contracts. So even in the long term, if you wanted to keep him longer than his current deal, I think you logistically, could do that. This is a home run deal for Dana Brown. I mean, he has made a lot of really good moves, but this one it's chef's kiss. Cam Smith, again, looks like one of the best. I mean, I think what's happening with him right now in terms of the Rookie of the Year conversation is kind of a joke, to be honest. Everyone wants to put just Roman Anthony and all these guys who have played 5 major league games at the top of the order. Every time a Red Sox player is called up, they're one of the 3 best players to win the odds, but Cam Smith kind of continues to drop. I'm in on Cam Smith. I placed a wager recently.
Oh, really?
On Cam Smith to win Rookie of the Year.
Like how recently?
Within the last 3 days.
Was it before his 2 home run game or after?
It was before his 2 home run
Oh,
game.
wow. That's good.
Everyone, the way he's played this year, I'm he deserves to still be in the top of the contention of this. And if you look at it right now, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th best odds.
What are his odds, though? That's what I care about.
Plus 5,000.
Oh, that's pretty good. I do feel like the gap between him and Jacob Wilson as far as their production in 2025 is pretty great.
It's pretty mighty.
So, Wilson's going to have to fall off, and Cam's just going to have a torrid finish to his year for him to win it. But I like the 5,000 value, and you probably got it at a little bit better rate. Maybe?
No, it was just at 5,000.
Yeah, I think that value is fine. Would it take a mighty effort and also a little bit of a drop off from Jacob Wilson for him to win? Yes. Is it worth plus 5,000 in value? Yes. Also, yes. I think what you see with the Rookie of the Year rankings, quite frankly, I think it defines the East Coast bias that we always see. Jason Dominguez hasn't had the year of Cam Smith. Why is he being mentioned as a top 5 Rookie of the Year candidate, and Cam Smith's not. Oh, yeah, that's right. He plays in New York. Why is Roman Anthony, who has like a negative WAR, being mentioned in the top 5 of AL Rookie of the Year when Cam Smith has been producing really all year? You know, maybe he hasn't had this amazing offensive season, although for a rookie it's really good. Oh, that's right. He plays in Boston, and he has name value, and he has cachet.
Christian Campbell is the one that I think is
What kind of
him
years
and
he having?
Dominguez.
I haven't really.
It's not been great. I mean, he's been fine. Like it's just to have him still in front of Cam Smith just surprises me.
I hate. I'll be honest, not to poo-poo your like thought here. It's not really your thought. It's just power rankings. I hate power rankings.
That's fair.
It's clickbait. Hey, look where I got all these people ranked.
Sure.
I don't care about that person's rankings.
Yeah.
I don't care that MLB has those dudes in the top 5. It means nothing to me. It's not tangible at all. At all.
You're right, but Astros fans have basically kept companies in business by being disrespected in power rankings. Over
And I still like to
years.
quote tweet them and call them idiots.
Yes,
That's free engagement.
I think Ben Verlander, kind of a friend of the station. It's been a while since he's been on. He
I
had
muted him,
top 5. I think he's got the Astros now 5th in his power rankings right now in all of baseball, which I think is about accurate with where they've played this year.
I could not have told you. I don't know where the Astros are in a single power ranking.
I think I saw it recently. I think I saw it today on Twitter, and it just reminded me.
It might be one of the worst things that I hate in sports. Like, I cannot stand power rankings. Oh, this team is 13th. Who cares?
Because it doesn't really matter.
They're going to play it off.
Yeah. And honestly, the only power rankings that like I factor in, they're not power rankings. They're betting odds. Because I just feel like Vegas has always a more neutral approach to it. Like they have a better idea of where these teams are, where they're going to go from the start of the season to the middle towards the end. Like, you know, I don't really, even like Baseball Reference, like I saw like the Astros have like a 6.9% chance to win the World Series. I don't care.
See, that one I think is a little bit more tangible though, because like it's the computers. Like this is like they're spitting out what the projections will be. Is it nerdy? Yes. But I think it is. I think it does have a little bit more feel to it.
It does. It does. It's kind of like Vegas in that way. For me, like specifically like the World Series percentage, like 22% from the Dodgers. Like, doesn't that feel low at this point to say like they're going to win the World Series? Only a 22% chance.
What was the highest?
Theirs.
Oh, okay.
Dodgers is 22%. Yankees was 13%.
I mean, I think it's the volatility of baseball. Like, you know, you get into these playoff series, you play 162 games, and all of a sudden you're playing the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
You're going 5-game series, 7-game series, 7-game series. Like I think the baseball postseason is the biggest crapshoot of all the big 3 sports.
Absolutely.
Because it's a coin flip sport. You're playing these short-ish series. No, I think 22 is fine.
I think especially with the 3-game series now, it just causes such a wrinkle in the first round. All these 3-game series.
Now the best teams don't have to worry about that.
No, they don't. But I mean, there's still pretty good teams that are usually in those series. And the Astros were on the wrong side of that last year.
No doubt. But I'm talking about like for a team to have the best odds of winning the World Series.
You skip that.
Yeah, you're skipping that. Like I can't imagine that it's usually much higher than 22%.
No, probably not. At least not at this point in the season. I mean, we're still not even officially halfway there yet. And so I mean, I'm sure towards the end of the season, people might view it. The nerd numbers might view it differently. But yeah, I think at this point, the only thing that to me would make going back to this Cam Smith trade and revisiting it now, just with the way he's playing recently, and Paredes, who obviously the Astros kind of avoided what seemed like could be a somewhat serious injury. He missed, 2 games?
No, right? He missed 3.
3 games?
He missed 3, and they won them all.
I guess they don't need him.
They won them all. They went 3-0, and they swept. Who did they sweep before they went to Oakland? Yeah, they played. He didn't play at all in the Twin Series.
But I still would like to see a contract from Cam Smith at some point. I would love for the Astros to be ultra aggressive. No, again, we don't know if they have been, and the Cam Smith camp has just rejected it. But just to think where he's at now, it also still defies logic that this time last year he was hitting home runs for Florida State in the College World Series, and now he's hitting home runs in a minor league ballpark that's technically a major league ballpark. It's just his story and how fast he moved. Dana Brown was on the flagship on Wednesday this week and said it again. They did not expect to see Cam Smith contribute to the Astros until 2026.
When?
Wednesday morning.
No, like when did he have that thought?
I don't know, but he admitted to it.
He admitted that they didn't expect Cam Smith to have an impact on the 2025 team?
Probably when they traded for him. They thought he was going to be a next year call-up. They didn't think he was going to burst out in spring training the way he did. So,
Okay.
which I think is a logical way to view it. Like
No,
you
it
don't
is.
trade for a guy who's played with what, 10 minor league games.
But I wonder though if that kind of defends the argument that Dana called him up to be here on opening day. That way he could tout out his prize prospect he got in the trade. Like I feel like that kind of negates that argument. I think it minimizes that argument.
I think it does too, in a way, because it wasn't there just to be like, hey, he's here because we got him.
Right.
He's here because he earned it.
Yeah.
Or
Now-
other guys lost it.
Yeah, and
Mostly he earned it.
I don't love like this is the spring training, and like spring training numbers to me are pretty meaningless. But again, like I'm not going to sit here and put the toothpaste back in the tube. Like
Yeah,
it is what
yeah.
it is, and I'm enjoying Cam Smith.
What did you think of this series in Sacramento? Just the experience of watching a pro baseball team,
Yeah.
2 pro baseball teams, I guess you could say, playing in a minor league ballpark.
I kind of like it more than Steinbrenner Field.
That I agree with.
And I think they're drawing better than they do in the Coliseum.
I think they are.
So it's like, I think it's funny that the 2 teams that are playing in minor league ballparks had like no attendance numbers back in their, the Coliseum or the Trop, depending on which team we're talking about. No, I didn't mind Sacramento as much. Steinbrenner Field I thought was Mickey Mouse, like just absolutely Little League, Williamsport. No, I kind of liked it. What is it? Heath Sutter in West Sacramento across the bridge.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mind that one as much. Maybe it's because we had like, okay, well here's what Steinbrenner Field looks like, and then you got to see the Sacramento ballpark afterwards, so it's like kind of reconditions your mind a little bit.
Yeah, I don't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. I think for this season, it kind of annoys me that Major League Baseball is going to do this for multiple years, potentially for both of them. I mean, we got the news on Wednesday that a $1.7 billion offer has been made to the Tampa Bay Rays from a guy in Jacksonville, so maybe they're going to become the Jacksonville Rays at some point. The Duval Rays. I hate that we have teams playing there, but the biggest thing I thought was I'm baffled that these fans in Sacramento were booing Jose Altuve.
Yeah, that was funny to me.
like why? Like,
So I try to.
You're minor league baseball fans. You're not A's fans. Like, don't try to convince us otherwise.
I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory as to why they would be booing Jose Altuve. And you kind of mentioned it there a little bit. Sacramento is the affiliate of what? I don't even care who they're affiliate to, but
I
what
don't
level
know.
are they?
AAA.
AAA. How many games in AAA did Jose Altuve play?
0?
None. Went straight from AA to the big leagues.
Oh.
So Sacramento is sour that you have this pretentious 5'4" Jose Altuve
Easy.
that can't even play in AAA
He's at
and
least
make his
5'5".
tour stop into Sacramento. That's why Sacramento is ticked. Because this pretentious future Hall of Famer, potentially one of the greatest offensive second basemen of all time, skipped AAA, skipped Sacktown,
Yeah.
and they're bitter.
They're just bitter.
They're bitter.
They want to root for the short king
Yeah.
or boo him, I guess. I just
Yeah.
think it's so stupid.
I wonder what town Sacramento was before the A's. I'm sure it hasn't changed much, but I wonder teams without pro sports, they usually have
they have
like
I
San
feel like-
Antonio has the Cowboys. I think they've kind of gravitated.
Well, there's
to the
nothing to
Astros.
root for, right? In Sacramento. So, I mean, with
Other
the
than
with
the
the
Kings.
with the Athletics.
Yeah, like I
So
wonder who
I'm
their team
assuming
was.
they're Giants fans.
I would guess.
Like Giants, or a lot of them are bandwagon or Dodgers fans.
Yeah.
Like it's probably like a lot of like anything near New York.
Uh-huh.
Everything kind of becomes a Yankee fan.
Yep.
And same thing like in the Midwest. A lot of people are just Cubs fans, or in the South Braves fans.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like that there. Like it's mostly. So if they're mostly Dodgers fans, who are now pretending to be A's fans,
Yeah.
or just go to games for very cheap, that would make sense why they're booing Jose Altuve. But I just thought we were past
Well,
this.
I also think it's fun to do. Like,
It is, yeah.
hey, I'm gonna go to an 8,000 capacity. I think it's like 12,000, but 8,000 people are here, and we're all gonna boo this little guy. Like, I think it's kind of like crowdsourcing in a way, and it
Yeah.
also becomes the thing to do.
But it's also more fun when
I
they
also
boo
don't-
him and he hits home runs.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Look, I think the best sound in sports is whenever you shut up a road crowd. Like I like the booing. It's entertaining. It adds drama.
Yeah.
You're right. Like I think Altuve kind of for some reason feast on it, and then you hear the boos after he hits a bomb, and he takes 35 seconds to round the bases, and then the pitcher goes high and tight with him the very next time he's up in the box. I think it's high drama. I love it.
Yeah, the silence is the best.
Yeah.
Like especially, I mean, the only counter is like that peak fandom when something incredible happens. Like I was at
Sure.
Minute Maid when Altuve hit the
I
walk-off
don't know,
against
man.
Chapman. Like it was just so deafening inside
Yeah.
Daikin, Minute Maid, whatever, when that happened. But you're right. The silence of a crowd when they're on a player in
Yeah.
any sport, whether it's a 3-pointer from Tyrese Halliburton or anything
Yeah.
in baseball, like that silence that's just this whole crowd being stunned is honestly one of the best things in sports. You
Like
are right.
Altuve against the Rangers in Game 5 of the
Mm-hmm.
ALCS. Now they didn't win at home, so it kind of like diminishes that a little bit. But like the fans in Globe Life were like in a
Mm-hmm.
library.
I think the Killer Bees needs to do maybe like a Wheel of Bits draft on the best sounds in sports.
Well, you know my number one pick. You know what's number one on the Branham Big Board?
I think number 2 might just be the crack of a bat.
I love the crack of the bat.
Like it's
Every time we pull a highlight, I always have to include the crack of the bat because there's nothing better than that.
I mean, that's why. I remember just smashing Yordan cracks of the bat.
Yeah.
Like I miss those.
They're like reverberating throughout the ballpark. That's kind of one of like the beauties of baseball is like the sound of the sport because like in the crack of the bat's the reason. Like you hear like somebody just making flush solid contact right there in the sweet spot. If they're like a massive power hitter, it just sounds so beautiful. But then also another like bat sound that I kind of like is whenever a pitcher, especially like if you're rooting interest or whatever, saws off somebody else and you can just hear the crack of the bat. Like that's always like kind of
A good one.
yeah.
Yeah. Look, baseball does have a lot of the best stuff. I mean, it's why and look, the ratings are up.
Are they?
The ratings are up this year.
Had no idea.
Seen. People are saying that people are watching baseball again. Real quick on Yordan Alvarez, since we mentioned him before we talk about some of the other stuff. Dana Brown, when he was on the flagship, said that Yordan Alvarez is still a day-to-day thing. He feels a lot better. They're communicating with him every day, not really taking swings right now.
Yeah.
He's holding and gripping a bat. He doesn't feel anything pain-wise.
Yeah.
Is he ever coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back. I mean, eventually he's going to come back.
Um,
I mean, if you're getting away
least
with
there's no
winning without him,
pain.
though, like if you're getting away with winning without him, what's the rush? I mean, you might as well just hold him out until after the All-Star break, because
I
like
feel
the
like we're
goal,
pretty close to that.
the goal isn't to get him back in June. The goal is that he finishes the season healthy, because you want him. Like, when is it more valuable to have him? Like the last half of June or the postseason? Like, give me the postseason. So if they feel like they're playing good ball, and like, okay, let's do the whole Dusty Baker thing where, if he's 100%, we give him one more day off. Let's do the Espada thing. He's 100%. Yordan rules. We give him another month off.
Another month off.
But if you're getting away with it, what's the rush?
No,
Like,
if
I'm
you have this
okay.
division lead now, there's not that major rush. And even if that were to dwindle a little bit before the break, you don't have that rush to bring him back. Just bring him back when he's 100% healthy and ready, since this hand thing doesn't need surgery.
I've also thought about it too from like once he is back. Let's say it's post All-Star break, whatever. What if we only play him 4 or 5 days a week?
I don't think that would be the worst decision in the world, because it does a couple things. One, it allows you that flexibility with Jose Altuve to have him days at DH if you want him to. If you acquire a left-handed bat like we talked about last week, like Brandon Lowe, it allows you some flexibility after the deadline to move things around, to work in your young guys, just to give guys extra days off. And it also allows then, like if you want to give Paredes or Walker a day at DH and Yordan just
Yes.
is out for 2 days, all that stuff is good. I think you just strategically place him. Like, yeah, if you play the A's again, he can sit 2 of those 3 games. Don't sit him when you play the Yankees, but when you play the A's,
Well, I don't know if I really care who the team is. It depends on the lead in the division. It depends on some of these races too. Because like right now you lead Seattle by a handful of games, right? So if you continue to have them at arm's reach, you don't need Yordan to play 90% of the games. Maybe you play 75% of the games. That way you have him in the postseason when you really need him. And to your point, like give Jose Altuve DH days, Caratini, Yiner, they probably should both be in the lineup a fair amount. And then, like you mentioned, if you acquire a bat, it's another way to get him there too. But no, I don't think it's a necessity that Yordan plays 6 times a week.
I agree.
Once he's back,
No,
because
I agree.
they have to. Like, what is the goal? What is the goal? The goal is to win the World Series. So you have to make moves that might not be the best in the short term, that are in the best long term as you try to achieve your goal.
All right, Chandler Rome on The Athletic put out an article doing some summer stock of the Astros. Whose stock is up, whose stock is rising, whose stock is down. Who or what, I'll frame it this way because that's the way Chandler approached it, is the most stock up on the Astros right now?
There's a lot. I guess you would have to define it like what is like the baseline. Are we talking about like the biggest growth here?
Yeah, I would say the biggest
Well, it's
growth.
probably Cam then. It's probably Cam Smith then. Because Cam Smith, solid rookie year.
Yeah.
But like kind of toiling around, above average player, maybe even more defense first than offense. Like why is his WARs, what it is? Is it because the defense or the offense more? That's probably the defense. But it's starting to come around with his bat, like hitting like 280, 290 in his last 28 games, like the last month. The power, we saw that in display, and Sacktown, the pull power too, which those were bombs, by the way. Like those weren't cheapies. Like that's what encourages me about Cam Smith's home run numbers in the future. Like, oh, he's only got 5 home runs for a guy that's supposed to have power. Yeah, but how far do they go whenever he gets a home run?
Yeah, he's got what? Is it 5 home runs in 3 games?
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah, because he's hit double dongs in 2 of it.
Yeah.
Because the last time that he homered was a double dong game, which is like almost 200 at bats ago.
Yeah.
But whenever he gets he hits the ball hard. It's a lot of it's launch angle. A lot of it's like, how many times did he hit a home run that was foul? Quite a bit. So I think they are going to come in bunches. I think that he's going to hit a lot of home runs in his career. That doesn't concern me. He is starting to feel it out. But seeing the power. Like, not only did he have the 2 home runs in that game, but he had double down the right field line. Like, he's starting to slug, which has been the criticism for him offensively. Because he was hitting a high enough batting average. He was getting on base plenty. He's an athlete. He has good speed. It's like, where's the slug from a slugger? And that's starting to come on display. So I would point to Cam Smith easily.
I would still say Jeremy Pena. Just the way that it's been elevated this year, his stock for me is the most up right now from at least the guys who were on this roster. I think Cam Smith is a great choice. He might fit maybe better into the stock rising category. That's where Chandler Rome put him. But I think in terms of just like stock being up, I go Pena.
It'd be hard to argue that if you're going from the start of the season.
Yeah. Chandler did the team defense is the most stock up for this team right now. Because I think this goes back to losing Tucker, losing Bregman, and what have you lost? Now with moving Altuve to left field, it's worked out really as great as you could expect it to be. Christian Walker has been a huge positive at first base defensively. I mean, this team is built on great defense right now, and as we've seen in the past, think back to like the Red Sox series a couple years ago. If you don't play a good defense, if you're not a good defensive team in the playoffs, it's going to bite you. And the Astros right now do have none of that worthy. So Chandler said stock rising. He said Cam Smith. Stock rising for me. Can I go with your favorite new player, Jamie Moyer?
Oh yeah.
Is it too early to say
like
stock is rising? Because I really like what we're seeing.
He looks good. Looks pretty good.
They just keep bringing guys up who I've never heard of.
How hilarious is it that the Sacramento Athletics, with the worst ERA in the American League, they have the worst ERA in the American League, that they waive a guy, and then a few months later, the guy that they waived, named George Costanza, shoves against you.
Oh.
Like, you have the worst ERA in the American League.
Yes.
You waive a pitcher from the worst pitching staff in the American League, and the pitcher that you waive from the worst pitching staff in the American League shoves against you.
I mean, look, I think there's one rule in baseball, basically. It applies to 2 teams. They're actually a little connected right now. If the Houston Astros or Tampa Bay Rays call you and they want a pitcher or want to trade away a pitcher to your team, I would probably not give them that player or not take that player because they're going to fix them. Ironically, Forrest Whitley's now in Tampa, so we'll see if they can pull their magic in there. But you see it time and time again where the Astros, they move on from guys at the right time, and things kind of unravel. It's like the Patriots in a lot of ways. When Bill Belichick would bail on a player, you would say that player's career is probably about to turn for the worse. And if the Astros pick someone up off waivers like they did with Jason Alexander, like I mean,
Yeah.
you almost just have to bet on that guy for at least a couple starts.
Yeah, if I
to
waved
show you something.
If I waved a pitcher and the Astros picked him up, I'd be like, oh no, what did we do?
We made a mistake.
Oh, he made a big mistake.
Yeah,
What do
like,
they
if
know
I'm
that
the
we
owner
don't?
of a team, I'm calling my GM and being
Yeah.
like, "Are you sure
Yeah,
you
what are
guys
we
are
doing?
getting this thing right?"
What are we doing here?
Because like that's concerning.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't go as far to say that like their career's gonna be over or anything like that. I just think that they're really good at optimizing what they have. It's amazing. Like, and I don't think it is that difficult. Like, it's sometimes it's as simple as, okay, you throw these two pitches really well. This pitch sucks. Let's get rid of this pitch. And people are like, oh, it can't be that easy. But then you hear like a Steven Okert who comes in here, and like, yeah, Okert was throwing this 4-pitch mix in his previous stops. They looked at 2 of those pitches and like, okay, these are not good. Like, these aren't big league worthy. Your fastball, your breaking ball, these look pretty good. How about we make you a 2-pitch mix guy? And then all of a sudden, he's like Josh Hader's weird uncle. Like, and he's having like a really good season. So the Astros pitching machine is the best thing they have going. And it speaks to their identity, too. Like you mentioned the defense a little bit earlier. That is their identity. Like Joe Espada said this at spring training on the very first day before they even started practicing. Whenever they were all there in the clubhouse there in West Palm Beach, our identity is pitching and defense. And he still talks about this. He says, look, anytime that you pitch good and you defend good, you always have a chance to win, even on a day when the bats don't show up. And it's true. You're always going to be in low-scoring games, and then if the bats do, like, you're going to cruise to an easy victory. So, you know, that goes to what you were saying earlier about like the defense and the overall team defense and how it's been better.
Yeah.
I think the reason that they did that is because, okay, pitching is our strength. We can, you know, make magic happen with these no-name pitchers. Let's put a good defense behind them, and then, you know, have holding teams to very few runs, and then we don't have to score as many runs to win games. Not a very difficult concept. It's difficult to do,
Yes.
but not a difficult concept.
But they execute it so well just every single year. They find a way to just keep it rolling, honestly. And it's why they've been the best team in the American League for like getting close on a decade now at this point. Last one here before we go to break. Stock down. Who is the most stock down player on this team?
That's easy.
Is it?
Yeah, Yordan Alvarez.
Okay.
I mean, how could it not be? Yordan Alvarez numbers
Well,
this year
Christian
are
Walker
abysmal.
stinks.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Walker, I don't think he stinks.
I think it's getting better. There are signs of life. Yainer is a huge disappointment this year.
Yainer's last 28 days have been fine.
I know, but big picture.
Christian Walker's still on pace for over 20 home runs. Like,
I know.
He's not tragic. Like, I
No, I
understand the
just don't
average
think
isn't where it's at.
I don't
we
think it's
expected
easy.
more. Oh, I think it's easily Yordan Alvarez.
But
Easily Yordan
But how can you
Alvarez.
be stocked down when, like, we all know he always gets hurt?
Well, I mean, look at his numbers before he got hurt.
They were, well, we think.
He's got a negative WAR. He's got an OPS plus of 82.
I think he was hurt before he went.
Sure. But going into the season, you were expecting Yordan Alvarez to be your team leader in almost every single offensive category.
That's true.
And Yordan Alvarez, while he was here, was one of your worst players in all of those categories.
It was very bad.
So it's easily Yordan.
All right. I would disagree. I'm going to take Yainer from me. I expected more.
Yainer's a bad answer.
As a big picture so far this season, I'm disappointed. My stock is down. As Pena's going up, Yainer's going
You're
down.
casual.
No, I'm not.
Casual.
I
Yainer lasts 28 days.
I
We
know.
sit here and talk. I don't know you. I don't think that you do.
I do.
I don't think you would have picked Yainer if you thought so.
I want to
if
see.
you knew.
I think the chase stuff. I thought we would see improvement by now.
Yainer, his last 28 days, slashing 277, 330, 458 slug. I'll do the math for you. That's a 788 OPS.
It's pretty good.
That's from a catcher.
I know,
That's
but-
top 5 offensive catchers in baseball. Now, he had a terrible start.
Very bad.
Can't argue that. Cannot argue that.
Yeah.
But the last month, Yainer Diaz has been who we expected Yainer
The
Diaz
last
to be.
month he's been fantastic.
Meanwhile, Yordan's been sitting in the dugout, and that's not your answer?
I know. I expect that from him. And he's actually hurt this time. There's a tangible injury.
I got a kick out of it the other day when Dubon had that walk-off, and Yordan runs out there and is like giving him dap with his right hand, and he's like banging his back with his right fist. It's
not
like,
do
Yordan,
that.
it's only 80%.
Like, dude,
Let's stop dapping up Mauricio there.
All right, let's take a quick
Your
break
left
here. Let's hear from our friends at Blue Star Tequila so they can tell you what night harvesting is all about.
In the highlands of Jalisco, as the fierce heat of day fades into dusk, the sun dips below the horizon, and our jimadores begin their work. Harvesting our precious agave azul beneath the glow of stars, while the night air is cool and calm, away from the harsh heat of the sun, we protect our agave's freshness, locking in essential natural properties and sweetness, and preserving its unique flavor profile. This world-first practice has been warmly embraced by our jimadores, who relish the soothing embrace of evening's cool air as they work beneath the moonlight. 100% agave azul, night harvested, unfiltered, and additive-free. We invite you to taste the Blue Star difference.
All right, Jeremy Branham, after you said I'm a casual,
It's a bad take.
it's fine. I'm accused of having them from time to time.
I'm an equal opportunity hater.
I know you are. The Athletic put out maybe one of the nerdiest articles I've ever read.
Oh, I like these.
But it's titled "History Says One of These 5 Teams Should Win the World Series." They went over the last 26 World Series champions, and they found all these things that these champions had in common. And they started just at the top, all 30 teams in baseball. If you didn't fit into these categories, they dropped you off. And they ended up with 5 teams. So for example, starts here. Factor 1, rank among the top 13 in 2 of these 3 categories. Win percentage, run differential, wins above replacement. So it knocked off like a large chunk of teams here. The next one, rank them on the top 17 in OBP or top 11 in slugging. This one knocks out the Giants, the Rays, the Brewers. This is where I think it gets interesting. This next one knocks out the Dodgers from this list.
Really?
Rank among the top 11 in opponent batting average or top 16 in whip.
Okay.
The Dodgers are not in that category right now. And 25 of the last 26 World Series champions have been in that. This knocked out the Dodgers and the Phillies. There's 2 other factors in here, a long-winded way to say. The 5 teams left through this nerdy article that you can find on The Athletic were the New York Yankees, the Detroit Tigers, the San Diego Padres, the Chicago Cubs, and the Houston Astros.
Okay.
If you add the Dodgers to this list and you make it a 6-team list and say those are the 6 teams that are most likely to win the World Series this year, the only one I really disagree with at this point would be the Padres. Because Dylan Cease has had not the elite level season that they've had this year, but they also spend and trade like crazy, so it feels like they're a shoo-in to make a big splash at the deadline. But I mean, the Tigers, the Yankees, the Astros are all their division leaders right now in the American League. And yeah, I think this list makes perfect sense. It's very nerdy. You can find it again on The Athletic.
I always like these lists, and then they eliminate everybody. Like, you see these in the Super Bowl a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have to hit all these qualifications. We're going to start here, eliminate 4 teams. Start here, eliminate 8. Do the next one, eliminate 10 more. And then by the time they're at the end of the list, there's 0.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
always prefer, like, this is another one of those things where it's like, oh, it's cool that they're on that list. I'd rather be on the list than not be on the list.
Sure.
And, like, some of those numbers do matter, right? Like ERA, WHIP, your run margin, your WAR. Like, those things are valuable. They're more valuable in the postseason than they are in the middle of June.
And I think that's kind
change.
of what this list kind of overviews when you go through it. Is like these are the things that translate to good postseason.
I mean, if I'm making an argument as the Astros are a World Series contender, like, I'm not going to point to a bunch of those different numbers or like, you know, an analytical article. Not that I don't like analytics. I do like analytics. But if I were to make the case, why can the Astros win the World Series? I'm going to say, well, Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez at the top of my rotation, and then Josh Hader and Brian Abreu in the back of my bullpen. And then I'm going to point to a few of my offensive players, Pena Big Year, who has been clutch in the past, Jose Altuve, who has the 2nd most career homers of anybody in baseball history, and then Yordan Alvarez, if healthy, has the ability to flip a game upside down. So I've heard Dana Brown say that this is a team that's built for October, and I actually agree.
I totally agree. I think the way you started there is the reason why the Astros, to me, will. I think they'll be back at least in the ALCS this year. I think it starts with Hunter and Framber, and then the 2 guys on the back end. It's just the Yankees can't match that. The Tigers on the front end can, but they can't on the back end. And it just sets the Astros apart in such a different way, more than any team in baseball.
I think they're
honestly.
unique. Yeah, I mean, if 5-game series, anything can happen. 3-game
course,
series,
yeah.
anything can happen. Like, I do think that it needs to be a goal to finish in the top 2. Like, I know previously I said, hey, it's regular season. But you do need to aspire to be a top 2 team to avoid that 3-game series. I hate the 3-game. I hate a 5-game series.
Does that contradict at all what you were saying
I don't
about
think
the
so.
Yordan Alvarez rest days?
No, I don't think so. Because I think you can obviously win without Yordan.
Yeah.
Like, you've been winning without Yordan. You just kind of have to be selective on when you're giving them days off. Like, I thought Dusty was good at giving a guy a day off before a day off. That way he would get 2 days off but only miss 1 game. No, it doesn't really, because I still think the team is capable of winning without Yordan.
And as we record this podcast, the Astros are a half game out of that bye
I think you can
behind the New York Yankees.
I think you can appeal to both masters there. I think that you can be smart about it. It is a fine line. But I think you can walk that fine line and please both masters from it.
I think so too, and it's funny. The last time you played the Yankees is September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So you play them late in the season.
Could be significant.
So, yeah, those will be big. The Astros, just looking at it now, their end of the year schedule's interesting. A lot of Rangers, a lot of Mariners. I mean, I like that you have to play a lot of division games towards the back end of the year, but it really feels like this division is on the cusp of. I know we talked about the deadline last week, and it's early, but it feels like there's at least one of the 2 teams in your division are going to really blow this thing up at this point, and the division might look very different on August 1st.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you're just in a spot where you can cruise.
Yeah.
Cruise, and like all you're playing for is that 2nd seed or a top 2 seed. That would be ideal, like, because then you can manage it. Let's get to the postseason as healthy as possible. Now, if you're in a divisional race, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. The only other thing I had for today's show is, and I know it's early in the season still in a way, but is there anything with, like not just looking at the deadline to come and things like that, with these young arms that are in and unknown arms, are you at all concerned about just like how they get through this season in terms of innings pitched? Because it feels like
in terms of volume.
Yeah, volume. Because obviously, like that's like Fromber and Hunter, like that's obviously not an issue. But like you have all these other new guys who like you look through like some of their minor league stuff, like they're not throwing a ton of innings and pitches and things like that. That's the only part of the pitching staff that obviously with Lance McCullers, haven't mentioned him yet on the 15-day IL. Whoops, because of a freak accident. What do you think happened?
I've been told that what happened was accurate, or what we've been told was accurate. That it was a freak workout thing where he kind of just, I don't know how he sprained the top of his foot above his big toe, or below his big toe. But I heard that was the truth. I actually feel like the Astros are learning from their mistakes.
Yes, Dana Brown keeps talking about imaging.
It's been Zach DeZinzo's like the guinea pig of how they're going to treat players after the Yordan saga. Now, did it take too long? Should they have learned from Tucker, not Yordan? And like, there's so many examples, yes, but it's one of those better late than never type of things. They also, like I saw Chandler's tweet the other day about the game notes where it had all the guys like injury.
It was nice
prognosis.
to see that.
So it's like, okay, they're implementing change. Like I have to tip my cap to that. We've been banging the table. They need to give us something. They need to change the way they're doing things. And they have. Like, is it too late? I wouldn't say it's too late. It's better late than never.
Yes.
Should they have done it sooner? Absolutely, they should have. But I can't sit here and like bang on them whenever we see tangible change being made.
Yeah, I feel like Lance just like dropped a weight on his foot.
They said it was a strain.
Yeah.
And it sounded to me like curled over his foot. Like I don't know what he would have been doing.
That's
Maybe
why,
he could have
like,
been
when I hear it, I'm like, what is he doing?
There's certain.
Like,
well, I mean, he's
we're
kinda,
not baseball players.
Lance
so,
is kind of crunchy. We know that.
Yeah.
Like he was probably doing. Like I don't want to say here. Probably doing. Here's a theory, a working theory. I haven't been told on what he was doing. I was told from a source that he did injure it. Somebody told me this before the Astros messages too. Like they told me this immediately when Lance was put on the IL. This wasn't Dana and Espada speak, and then he told me. I was told from the source before the Astros statement on it that it was legit. And then what Espada said is that he was doing some workout and he sprained the top of his foot below the big toe. Knowing that Lance is a little crunchy, this is a working theory of mine. Okay. I think he was doing some yoga. I think he was doing some yoga. What's the thing where you roll? I think it's called like calf rolls or ankle rolls.
Yeah.
I used to do P90X, so I know this. And it's like you kind of like put some weight, like go from the toe to the heel, and you do this gesture, which looks terrible on camera.
It does.
And then I think he just rolled it. I think he rolled it in an awkward way. I mean, it's very unathletic of him, but yeah, I believe it actually.
No,
I do believe it.
It's just honestly, it's just unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, like there was like this. Hey, at least it's not an arm injury.
That was my thought. Like I actually took some positivity out of it. One, You knew that Lance McCullers was not going to make it from start to finish without it still on the IL. So knowing that, okay, I've already conditioned myself to that thought. It's a lower body injury, not a right arm injury.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a success.
It is a win.
He's not going to stop throwing. So, like, it, might be ready to pitch as soon as the 15 days are up. That's a victory. It's not a long-term injury. And also, there is a little bit of, like, a silver lining here. He gets to take a little bit of a break. Like, the arm workload.
What we're talking about here. Yeah.
Like he says, probably, 15 days, you're looking at least 2 starts, maybe 3, probably 2, because they're in the 6-man. Maybe 3, though. Like, it depends on how the schedule would have fallen. But 2 starts. So, like, he's going to throw 90 pitches, let's say a very modest estimation. Like, you're saving him 180 pitches from his workload after not pitching in 2.5 years. You're saving him at least 10 innings from his workload after not pitching 2.5 years. So, it's really not the worst case in the world, and there are a lot of positives to it, actually.
Very positive, Jeremy.
Yeah, and look, and also, Brandon Walters pitched well, and George Costanza pitched well, so you didn't even miss him.
That's true.
You didn't even miss him.
Real quick. Is it bad that I didn't get that reference at all?
Yes.
I didn't watch that show.
Well, I mean, you got it because you alluded to it.
Well, like when it first started happening, I had to research it.
You didn't know who Jason Alexander was?
No, I had to YouTube it. I had to use the YouTube to.
I'm surprised you're not a Seinfeld guy.
I don't. It's just never did. I probably.
What's your favorite sitcom?
The Office.
See, I mean, that's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's just
comedy.
I don't know. I'm young. I'm younger than you.
Yeah.
Like 10 years.
Did you like Curb?
Never watched Curb.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not familiar with Larry David's game?
No, I'm not.
Larry David's a genius.
Well, I'll add that to my list of things to do. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Inside the Icebox. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, like the video as well. We'll be back next week for another edition. Plus, you can catch the radio show version of this at 6 o'clock on Fridays. Today's episode has been brought to you by Blue Star Tequila, the world's first and only night harvested tequila. It's tequila at its natural, unfiltered best, made with 100% blue agave and totally additive free. So whether you're chasing championships or celebrating the moment, raise your glass to bold beginnings and taste the Blue Star difference. Find it near you at bluestartequila.com.